welcome back to another action-packed episode of The Gentleman Show. Joined as always by the gentleman,
Curtis Nash.
Josh Kramer.
And I am Darren Warritz, and I did not lie when I said action-packed. We have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 weeks since
Rapid
we've been
fire.
in the chairs doing it, so we have a lot we have to do.
Yeah.
Exactly what Kurt said, rapid fire. So I guess first we'll jump into all the new movie trailers we got in the past week. I guess we'll start with Wonder Woman.
Yay!
Curtis, what were your initial thoughts on that trailer?
Initial thoughts is I liked how they developed, where you can tell more of what the story is going to be about. How the war lands on whatever Wonder Woman shores.
Themyscira.
Yeah, and then whatever you said. And
Knowledge
then
and
somebody,
once.
I don't know if that's her mother who gets killed, obviously.
That archer lady who
Yeah.
obviously takes that bullet? No, I don't think it's the mom.
But it's
I
enough
do.
where...
Do you?
Yeah.
It's enough where she's like, I'm going to go fight this war.
Yeah.
Help fight the good fight. But you get to see her use the bracelets to deflect
Yeah,
bullets.
a
That
lot
was
of
my
bracelet
favorite part.
work.
And that trailer was like, ting, ting, ting. I was like, yeah. So last time they showed the lasso of truth, and her sliding on her knees and sword fights. This time I got to see the bracelets. So I was happy.
Josh, what do you think?
I'm still a big fan of the lasso, like just the way it looks.
The fire lasso.
And I don't
kind of
know-
glowing aura.
You don't want to mention the Z word, Zack Schneider, because the way he films it is so dark. But I think like this lasso, the kind of the shots that you've seen, it's in like it's in a darker place, so it has that extra glow. I like the way that they've done it. I like the way it looks, and like Kurt said, there's a little bit more. You see man kind of landing on the island, and you see the Amazons, riding out, time to fight type deal. I was like, here we go. Yeah, this looks awesome. So there's a lot of like speculation that Ares is in it. We
The
don't
god
know
of war.
We don't know if it's the German guy, if he's Ares or not. There's been some like big trailer breakdowns, but I mean, we didn't really go too much in depth
See,
for it.
they
so-
finally got smart.
Yeah.
If this was Suicide Squad or Batman vs Superman, they would have
known
told you by now.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, there's only 2 trailers we've got on this,
Yeah.
the Comic-Con one and this one, so there is still time for them to spoil who the main villain was.
There's
but
plenty of months to ruin it.
that was the thing I liked, is that aside from Steve Trevor landing at Themyscira and them kind of buddying up and then going to war, you don't really know who the villain is or what's going on with this movie, which I like. The fight choreography, like that alley scene where she's bracelet blocking
Yeah.
bullets and punching people, that looks really good. So I think the way that the direction's going and the tone of this movie and just the overall feel of it, I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward
This
to
will
that.
be their first critical winner that will do like way less than Batman vs Superman
Yeah.
and Suicide Squad on the box
People will
office.
love it, but it'll bomb.
It's funny, yeah, because Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, both over 730 something mil.
Yeah.
You don't think Wonder Woman will make that?
No.
I don't think so.
Well, when they release the extended edition Blu-ray,
yeah.
that's actually the finished movie.
Yeah.
Another trailer that we got, I don't even say this week, was it 2 weeks ago?
It was
Week and a half
couple-
ago?
It was
Yeah,
just
it was-
far. It's about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, our first little tasty
Yeah.
nugget of what that movie is going to be. And all the expectations I had, it meet and beat them. It was so
Well, of
good.
course, like right away, you get the soundtrack, the Peter Quill soundtrack.
Uka Shaka.
Yeah, so you got the songs. It's kind of that slow motion walk. They're coming out, and then just chaos. There was a scene where like Rocket and Xandu were walking down a catwalk and just like guys falling and
That
stuff like
slow
that.
motion up to the
Yeah.
camera one, like what's going on with that? They said it's supposed to be the biggest spectacle movie that
Yeah.
Marvel's done with after seeing Doctor Strange. I'm really excited to see how they pull that off. But Curtis, was there any standout moments or things you're most excited for after that
I liked
teaser?
how you can tell they kept the cast has good chemistry. You know, I still wish they would have showed a little bit more of like what I want to know what the story's about. Like
it was a
looks the
perfect
same.
teaser, though.
Yeah, exactly. It is a teaser trailer. That's what it's supposed to be. Just to show you like this is what we're throwing out there. This is what everything's gonna look like. But it comes out
I
in
need
May.
some more.
I want some more. I want story.
Yeah,
Kurt
we're
always
fine.
needs it.
because we were getting Star Wars trailers a year before it came out.
Yeah,
and we're
for a
what, like
teaser.
7 months away from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 coming out, so we
Yeah.
should hopefully get a full trailer within the next
Yeah.
month, I would
Marvel's
say.
they just do this now.
Maybe
they wait
before
till like
Rogue One.
they
we
wait
might
till
get
like 3 months before the movie comes out
They
to get like the
don't-
full
yeah,
trailer.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They
Like,
know
they
they're
can
making
wait.
money. They know they're making
They can wait.
millions.
Yeah.
A few of the posters that were released, and then obviously
They look like old Guess ads from the 90s.
Yeah, they're like leaning against a wall.
Guess jeans.
But obviously, I was leading into the very last shot. You see Baby Groot.
Baby Groot.
and he's
in
all
Rocket.
pimped out in a
Yeah.
leather jacket.
Right?
So
Who
like
makes
in
that?
the posters, he's down on the ground and he's all sharp dressed. I was like, man, that's awesome. So I've read a few things about how Vin Diesel needed to do his voice a little different, obviously. Just a little baby Groot.
Really hard
But
day
I
at the
think-
office for old
I think
Vin.
obviously that's kind of the draw for everybody. Everybody loves Groot. And I think when you talk to a lot of people that might not be necessarily invested as much as we are in the Marvel movies, Groot is their
It's like
bringing
Marvel's
it.
Ewoks.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the toy franchise. The second I saw the first dancing baby Groot scene,
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
saw it opening night, I was like, that's going to be a toy.
Yeah.
Bet your ass that's going to be a toy.
Everybody was making little magnets, stickers,
baby
and
Groot
everything.
Halloween
Yeah,
costumes,
yeah.
and you know that's just going to carry over into this next movie. So
Yeah.
they're going to have a lot of opportunity to make even more money.
Yeah.
And then we got to see another, I guess, what was this, the second official or the third official one for Lego Batman, the movie that's coming
It's
out.
been-
Which,
what they count as trailers is weird.
That's
It says like
true.
it says like number 5. But I'm like, I
yeah,
haven't
but
seen
this
5
one,
trailers.
this trailer hooked me more for this movie than any
Yeah.
of the previous ones because it showed more of Zach Galifianakis' Joker and also Michael Cera's Robin. They couldn't have picked a better person to do that role. Michael Cera in general could be hit or miss, but in this, he just sounds hilarious.
Well,
and like the ripping off the pants
Pants all
gag
the time. Here at the end, he's like,
constantly
"Oh,
hits him.
you didn't bring your suit.
And he always
It's
says,
okay."
"Rip!"
Like we saw that trailer in front of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I don't pay attention to a lot of the Lego stuff. I'm like, And so they were like, oh, it's Lego Batman. I kind of rolled my eyes, but that went away within the first 10 seconds because Alfred's talking to Batman. Hey, you need to pay attention to your ward, and he's like, "What? I thought I
Sliding
was
down
kidding."
there.
Yeah, and he's hanging out on this giant table, sliding around.
secret camera.
So right away I started laughing. Like you said, the whole pants. He's like, "Oh, it's very restricting." Rip.
I got
You're
it.
like, "Ah."
Rip.
So it hooked me right away. I was like, you know what? That's funny. I think it'll be a really good movie.
It's gonna be a blast.
It's continuing with kind of the humor and the feel that the Lego movie had in
Yeah.
general, with the way that they're just bringing that character in and obviously making more money in between that and Lego 2 or whatever
Will
they're gonna call
Arnett
it.
is Batman.
But it's just, I enjoy it. It feels like, it's the multiverse of Lego now. They have a shared universe. What the hell? Why not? So those are all of our trailers. Let us know what your favorite ones are. If we missed any, there could have been more trailers that dropped. Join the conversation
Nothing
in the
important.
comments section as we get into our movie news. Curtis, what's our first story?
I don't know. I can't read the sheet.
Well, I can only fit so much on there because we have so much we want to talk about today.
Dumbledore casting.
Yeah, I knew. I was gonna say. I was just kidding. Yes, Dumbledore casting. Who's excited for Fantastic Beasts? This guy is.
I'm excited, but it's slowly lessening.
Really? See, I'm
The
not.
You
Addition-
started out very
I
high.
know,
though.
Because
Darren was
I have Harry
amped
Potter
up.
tattooed on my head because I love that universe so much. Johnny Depp getting casted as Grindelwald? Don't like that one bit. I don't like Johnny Depp anymore. And then the fact that they want to recast Dumbledore, where there was a throwback where Dumbledore was talking to Tom Riddle in the 40s. Why can't it be the same actor we already have as Dumbledore? So that casting a 30-year-old guy or 20-year-old guy,
that's dicey.
gonna take
This
me
is
out
the
of it.
third. I don't. Well, it depends how well they cast it, right? I'm not.
He
gonna-
has to be mystical. He has to still be old because Dumbledore's like 300 years old.
Is he?
And I forget which movie it is. They're speculating to it, and they get past 150, give or take a couple centuries.
But this is still at least 70 years before that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well,
It's in the
before-
30s.
Yeah, it's before the
It's in
Tom
the
Riddle,
30s.
right?
No, it's World War II, so it's 1940 to 45.
Is it? Or I thought it was World War One.
No, it's not World War One. That's Wonder Woman.
Oh, we're not talking about Wonder Woman anymore. All right. But
So that's just one of those things, and I don't like the Eddie Redmayne because he's not really a big enough actor that he's like that A-lister face. But that was the thing about Harry Potter. You didn't know who Emma Watson was.
Yeah.
You didn't know who Daniel Radcliffe
But they
is.
were all kids, right?
Yeah, but then you're putting
Eddie-
in Johnny Depp, Captain Jack ruin a
Yeah,
movie,
yeah.
and all that stuff. So I'm just that's really taking me out of it. But again, I'll have to wait and see.
Well, and Eddie Redmayne, he's not a nobody, right? He's had Oscar nominations. He's
still
had
but
Oscar wins.
He's not a Johnny Depp level.
No, for sure. But like you said, you want to kind of go in there not knowing who anybody is. And I kind of agree with you with the Johnny Depp. His Jack Sparrow is taking over his life.
Yeah.
So when he's doing other movies, you almost see elements of Jack Sparrow in anything he does now, and
Yeah.
it kind of it throws you off, and you get sour about it. Well, I have a feeling you'll probably will see something like that in this.
Well, I'm the forever optimist. So.
yeah,
Well, and
I still think I was looking forward to seeing a young Dumbledore.
Yeah.
I was like in the
But
our
you-
age, the 30s.
he's supposed to be an old mystical wizard where like time has barely affected him, and you don't know how old Dumbledore is because time hasn't really changed him over 100
Maybe
years.
but JK's writing the scripts.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
true.
faith
Well,
in JK.
And I'm curious if they're going to explore the fact that Dumbledore and Grindelwald were lovers.
oh yes,
Oh,
I had heard about
yes.
that.
Right? So
We'll
they might
see.
bring that in.
Speculation,
And then
please,
tune
coming
into the
out.
internet because that's going to be a good week when that
No,
spoiler
but
drops.
I think, like you said, you started way up here, and now you're starting to come down. I started way down here. The first 2 trailers, I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
you know, you guys were really.
Really?
I was like, hey, there must be something wrong with me because I
What am I
loved
missing?
Harry Potter. I loved Harry Potter. But I was like, But now, now that I watch more and more, and I'm reading a bit more, I'm like, ooh, like I'm starting to get a little bit more excited for it. So I'm kind of going the opposite.
We're
way.
gonna
I'll
meet in the
pass you
middle.
hill,
It
yeah.
it does kind of make me. It's kind of like they're taking away the glitz. The only thing that makes me mad about this casting announcement is they're kind of, and the Johnny Depp one is they're kind of taking away to the current movie. You know, like the bigger news is we're casting you Dumbledore. We have Johnny Depp in our next movie. Wait a second. You still haven't released this movie.
We don't
know
You
if
should
this one's
fo-
gonna be
Yeah,
good.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what kind of cheesed me off. I'm like, wait till after.
Then there's stories that Dumbledore makes a cameo in this movie.
Yeah.
So which means if they say in the stories nobody is cast yet, but then they must have him cast if he makes a cameo. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
Who knows anymore?
Unless it's just like the back.
Yeah, and of course it's
Yeah.
Warner Brothers again, ruining some casting. Probably we'll see going forward. But anyway, I went from like a 9.9 on excitement level to this, probably down to below an 8 now.
Ooh.
Whoa.
That's the
Fan that
effect.
flame.
That's the effect Johnny Depp has on me. So Warner Brothers and JK, don't F with me. Next was some pretty crazy stuff. The next 2 stories really have to do with directors and people leaving movie.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2 running into some trouble. Tim Miller leaving with Ryan Reynolds having some creative differences.
Yeah.
And then their
Yeah.
composer leaving as well.
Yeah.
The one thing that's crazy about this story is the 2 worked so hard.
To get
To get
Deadpool
this
off
movie
the
done.
ground.
But when you read things, you don't know if it's true. I was
Yeah.
reading that Tim Miller's vision of the movie is like, we need to build this into the X-Men universe.
More
Whereas-
stylized.
Yeah, whereas Ryan Reynolds is like, no, we need to make
that.
Deadpool movies.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I'm with Team Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, just because you're part of that universe doesn't mean you need to cater to it.
no.
And
You're
even-
your
And
own
it's, and it's the
character.
X-Men universe. Like, it's Fox's universe.
And the little
Screw you,
bit-
Fox.
Yeah.
Hey,
the little,
stay on target.
the little like the way that they handled it, be like, yes, X-Men do exist in this movie, but you
Yeah.
only get Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Where
Whatever,
it was
that's
just
fine.
like, yeah, it was a nice little tip, but it didn't need to be based around the
No.
ooh, he's the X-Men and everything's shared. So
don't
I
need
liked
that.
that. I liked the more, I don't want to say indie feel, but the smaller scope. Not everything needs to be, oh, there's a spinning
Yeah.
disc of light and the world's getting sucked
Yeah.
into it. Only Deadpool can stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that I had read was they did not agree on casting
For
Cable.
Cable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause they
were
wanted
really
Friday Night
butting
Lights.
heads. And I was like, how, like Kurt said, it really kind of blew me away. I was like, man, these 2 guys worked so hard
Yeah.
to get. And then Tim Miller's just like, you know what? Like, I love these guys. I wanted everything to be awesome, but
Yeah.
I gotta leave. Like, I can't be involved in this. And so the composer, he originally was brought in by Tim Miller.
Yeah.
So he starts feeling guilty that Tim Miller left, and he's like, you know what, I should walk too, because I don't feel, proper being here.
Yeah.
So there goes their
It could be on good terms. We don't
For
know
sure.
that. It could be like,
I
you know,
think
we're
it
not
still
going to
is
agree.
on good terms because, like you said, like creative differences. Tim wanted to go more stylized. Ryan wanted to keep it more like the the dick and fart jokes. And the more
And,
crude
but when it
humor.
comes down to it, Fox is going to be like, we can replace Tim Miller. We can't replace Ryan
if they
Reynolds.
brought in a new
Yeah.
Deadpool, the world would freak out. So it's interesting to see going forward. They still do have plans to start filming in January of 2017.
We'll see.
Which is pretty quick considering they don't have a director. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to
Yeah.
wait and see on that one. Speaking of
We'll
people
see.
without a director,
The Flash.
Barry Allen.
Yeah.
But this
down
one,
So
director
this is the
number
second
5.
this one wasn't a. I don't know what's going
They
on
made
with this
such
movie,
a
but
big deal
it's
of
not
this
coming out for
director
like
coming
3
on.
years or
Well,
2 years.
That's just it. So they make a big deal that, this is the director from whatever show he does. I'm like, I've never even,
Yeah.
I don't watch it. I don't know who this guy is.
Tim Miller's gonna do it
This
now.
is going to be fantastic. Yeah,
He's
Tim
got
Miller.
time.
So, this is awesome. They really just blew a whole bunch of smoke everybody's ass.
They blowed
'Cause
a
they're all
smoke.
like,
Bloated.
they're like, this guy's awesome. We brought him in, and then all of a sudden he walks. I haven't read a reason why. I haven't.
It was
heard
creative
anything.
differences again, is what they
But,
keep saying.
Like you said, you read about this sort of thing, and like if you're worried about this sort of situation, you'd be worried for Daredevil, like you said.
Yeah.
Filming's supposed to start in January. This movie, Urza Miller, I think, tweeted, "Oh yeah, we're starting filming like in March." I'm like, really? Like it's still 3 years away.
Yeah.
They're talking about. Apparently, there's rumblings that Warner Brothers wanted to move it up, like take like Aquaman's spot, which I can't see happening when you have James Wan
And he's gonna
at the
kill
helm
it.
of Aquaman.
That's the one
Warner
DC
Brothers-
movie I'm not worried about.
Warner Brothers knows where their money is with Aquaman and
Yeah.
Flash. They're Aquaman's the
Aquaman's the
forefront,
one.
for sure.
That kind of begs the question, though, when you're talking about like the creative differences and people leaving, and like what could it possibly be? Do you think that Warner Brothers or people are trying too much to relate it, or like make it seem like the CW Flash and like the tone or how they want to go with stories, and that's what's making directors want to leave? Because that's got to be a hard enough thing in general to come in when you have a TV audience who loves the
This
Grant
character
Gustin
already.
Flash
Well,
and everything.
I think, like I'd read today that they're not worried about it because they know how well the shows are doing on TV, like through
But
the
then
CW.
they want to bring Iris and they want to bring like Professor Zoom and Reverse Flash in, which is what
Right.
the TV already did it. So it's like, well, give me something new. But then again, it's hard because they do Villain of the Week, so they pretty much
Right.
hit every nail they already.
But I mean, one thing that you have to know about like Warner Brothers and DC is that they're bringing in these directors and they're giving them full control, which I find is really weird that there was creative difference because, Zack Snyder got total control for Batman vs. Superman. You have the female director for Wonder Woman. Warner Brothers really stands by their directors, and they're really proud of the fact that they're giving them all this freedom. But then you read about David Ayer and how they stepped in for that, and they're comparing themselves to Marvel Studios, where I'm reading a bunch of interviews with directors, and they're going, "We don't want any they don't want any part of directing a Marvel movie because it's all written in stone." So they're coming in and they're going, "Well, what can I contribute to this?" And the studio heads in Marvel are going, "Oh, well, nothing. Like this is the way exactly we want it." So
Yeah.
a lot of directors are like, "I don't want to do that."
But
It's
whose formula's winning right now,
Yeah.
though, at the same time?
well, and that's just it, right? So Marvel, like you said, we've said before, Marvel has like a winning formula. They know what they're doing. So to kind of have something, it almost seems like you could almost bring in like, you don't want to bring in new directors, but like lesser directors, kind of get them a foot in the door if Marvel's going to help out Hollywood, like, that way. I don't know, but I think Warner Brothers is still fine in the sense that, they're still backing up their...
It's so far away, like I said.
Yeah, 3 years. Like usually, it takes what, like 3 months to film a movie, like on like a perfect
It's all
schedule.
post-production.
Yeah,
It takes time.
So the fact that they're, like you said, 3 years away and they're already worrying about it so much, like you guys should start filming in 2018,
Well,
and you'll be
I don't
good.
think Warner Brothers is worried. I think, like they said, the news gets out that they lose a director and it's the internet, it's social media. Oh my God, Flash lost another director. They don't care. It's so far down the pipes, they're like, do what you want with it. It's the internet,
Game of What If. Who would you like to see direct the Flash movie coming in to replace?
Oh boy, I'd like to see like somebody who's Kevin Smith.
Ah, you took mine.
Kevin Smith. I was just thinking, like, talk about a guy who loves Warner Brothers, but nobody will give him the shot at
Yeah.
a big
And who
budget
could
like that.
he could take that seriousness, but he could also pepper in that humor that like Kevin
Yeah.
Smith. Obviously, it's not going to be like noise
I think
kind of stuff in the
I
background.
think people
but-
forget that this guy is one of the biggest comic book fans ever, and especially a DC comic book fan. Like he loves these characters.
Well, and he's dabbling with the W or with the
CW.
CW right now,
All
right?
that stuff,
Supergirl, and
yeah.
he's doing
He's directed Flash
doing that
episodes,
stuff.
and if you're worried about how gritty Kevin Smith can get, watch Red State.
Yeah.
It'll let you know just how
exactly.
dark that guy
Like
can
he
get.
goes
when it's
crazy,
directing.
but when he's got like a cherished character, I don't think he would.
He wouldn't
wouldn't
wander
go,
too
no.
far off the
No,
beaten
and he'd
path,
be so
you know?
honored that he would be like, that would become his life. His
Yeah, oh,
podcast,
yeah.
everything would disappear until that movie was
Yeah.
done for him,
Yeah.
right? Well, that's the movie news aspect of it. Moving into the television side now. A TV show that nobody thought was ever coming back is coming back.
I bet you there's probably not too many people that know about this
This will
show.
be quick.
I've watched the first season.
Yeah.
I've watched the first two on Netflix, I think 2 or 3 times, just because like I'm a huge fan.
And it takes a while to get in. We're talking about Young Justice.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. I was gonna keep going
Young
on.
Justice
Young
getting a
Justice,
third
yeah.
season, and
So
probably picked up by Netflix.
So it's kind of like the Teen Titans, like it's the DC universe, and it's all the younger kids that are trying to make their way into the Justice League, but obviously they're doing their own thing. So you have like Aqualad, Miss Martian, you have Kid Flash, you have a bunch of the smaller.
Aqualad, out of all the names, I'd be so ticked off. Can we think of
Sounds
something
Irish.
better?
But you know
Aqualad.
what?
Aqualad.
It was weird because they did the first 2 seasons, it disappeared. There was a lot of just kind of outrage. How could you stop this? Like, the show is great. And then out of the blue, I started reading, we got to bring back Young Justice, you know, bring it back for a 3rd season. I was like, well, that's weird. Like, where did this come from? And it can't be gaining any traction. And then all of a sudden, one day, poof, you know, the creators are like, we want to thank the fans for getting this started.
And they made like a special video. That's the creators right there
Does your
letting us
pocket
know.
just have an idea?
So yeah, but no, I'm really excited about that.
Well, I know
I'm
so
gonna
were
have to
the
watch season
fans
2.
and everything. Yeah, I'll have to catch up. Obviously, I have some time because I need to animate.
Season 2 got a little bit more darker.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and they
a lot
need
of,
to.
like-
As the characters
yeah.
grow, you need to do that as well. I can't remember because it's been so long since I watched season 1. Is Robin Damian Wayne Robin,
No,
or
no.
is he a different one?
I think it's Tim Drake.
Oh, okay, cool. I love the Damian Wayne thing that they added.
Yeah.
He's my favorite Robin so far.
But he's still relatively new, right?
Stay on target.
Stay on target. Staying on target.
Yeah, rein
Okay.
these 2 in.
Moving into the next story. Curtis will let you take this one for TV.
For TV news?
Well, the next story. There you see it on
I
the...
told you I can't read that.
Oh my God, Defenders.
Just kidding. The Defenders. Yes, I know. This one was. They just kind of throw things off in passing. It never gets as big attention I think it should.
Right.
But the casting Elektra's going to be in the Defenders.
Yeah.
When you find out. A whole bunch of people. I can't remember. There's like, oh, this person's in this person's. And I'm like, oh, they just keep adding them like left and right. Like this.
Well, and it's not just one like big news article. Like I'm on, you know, I'm surfing for our news and here's a piece. Oh, you know, Foggy Nelson.
Well, yeah, it's like characters like that.
Yeah, they're gonna be in the Defenders, and then you go down a few more, and here's another article. These people are gonna be in the Defenders. I'm like, Jesus, it sounds like they're combining all
Infinity
4
War on
shows.
TV.
Yeah, into the Defenders, and they're kind of doing like their Netflix is doing their own mini Avengers / Infinity Wars, where every single character that's been cast that has had a role in the 4 shows will be in the Defenders.
Well, you see a picture
I'm like,
of
that's
Misty
pretty cool.
Knight and Jessica Jones
Yeah.
like squaring off in one. And you're just like, oh man, they cross paths.
Yeah.
Will she lose her arm? Like, you know, those are all things that I'm wondering. So I'm really excited for the Defenders going forward. I'm curious, do you think that the Defenders is going to finally solve what the hell in Daredevil that hole is
hole?
for, and like
probably.
I think
the
Iron
Black
Fist.
Sky and everything?
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist
might
will.
touch on it.
Because I'm really curious. I'm just like, season 2, episode 4, they're looking down this hole that
Giant
never
hole.
ends, and then they just like, all right, well, where's the Punisher?
I think that's. I
Let's
think.
take it to the roofs.
I think that's unless Iron Fist touches on it, but I think that's going to be like the main.
I want Madame Gao to come back. I want Wilson Fisk to be in it. Like, and just if they're doing that,
I
like,
hope so.
Make
You
it
never know,
huge.
though.
But I'm worried about, because of some of the Luke Cage and Jessica Jones special effects, when people are superheroing out, how that's going to look in big epic battles, and like how mystical and fantasy is Black Sky that going to bring in with the battle, or is it just going to be a bunch of ninjas?
Yeah, it's tough. Like that'll be the first time. Like obviously, Doctor Strange is out, so we're seeing the mystical side of stuff. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're starting to touch this. Well, this season is more magical with
I
Ghost
thought
Rider,
it was
right?
the Book of Agamotto or whatever it was that they were looking through.
So
I was
I
like,
think
ooh.
with the Defenders, they're gonna have a good handle on it. I think you're gonna have Daredevil, who's pretty much all physical. Like all 3 of them, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, are pretty much just all physical, right?
Yeah, it's
But
not like I'm
Danny
shooting
Rand,
something
it's
out of my
Iron
hands, you
Fist
know?
that kind of has that mystical energy. And I mean, how hard is it going to be just to kind of have his
I think
hands
it's
glowing?
Yeah.
that's a
glowing.
good
I know,
point.
maybe it
I
looks
think
stupid.
it's going to be easier with those characters, like you said.
Yeah.
The hardest part is to make it look like they're hitting somebody hard or like breaking like a car, you know.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, even he has mystical powers, like his fists or whatever glow, but it's still all of his close combat fighting.
Yeah.
You know, so they rely a lot on that, I think.
Well, and the
They don't need
choreography with the
special
Marvel
effects.
shows, like especially with like the Daredevil hallway fights and stuff like that, like they
Yeah.
have great choreography people on staff. So those should all be good, but I'm just worried about, like you said, with the mysticism and if there's any big battle sequences, because I remember the Luke Cage final battle sequence that was supposed to be the big, Buddy in the shitty Justin Hammer
It
suit.
seems like they really just kind of cashed it in. Like
Yeah.
I was
They
so
saved their money
disappointed.
for the Defenders.
Hopefully, I really hope so.
Sorry, Luke Cage, you're just gonna get thrown around in a car parking lot.
Yeah, and then we got this guy who's cosplaying as a really poor version of his comic book counterpart. And then I guess our final piece of news, something
Some video
I have
game.
personally been waiting for since I beat the third one. Mass Effect Andromeda getting its first cinematic trailer and giving us some pieces of what we're going to see in the game. Some story elements. It takes place as a Pathfinder. You leave just as Shepard's waking up in the first game to go
Yeah,
out and
that's
explore new
crazy.
territories. So it's like, obviously they don't cross paths because in all three Mass Effects we never meet this kid
Yeah.
that's in it, because we're off kind of like Star Trekking it, trying to find new places to live. I thought it was the First Contact Wars at first, when we first discovered the mass relay and went through, and then we met the Turians, and that would like 3-month war took place. But I was wrong.
Josh just nodded his head. You're like, yes,
Like,
yes,
sure,
I
whatever
agree.
you say. Yeah. That's how I feel when you talk about Final
Undisclosed
Fantasy.
information. I've never played any of these games, so I'm just going to sit here and be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
no, that
Yeah.
sounds
See,
awesome.
I tried playing the first one. And I was like, this is dumb, and I
That
couldn't get
sounds
into
about
it.
right.
But
That
then,
sounds
one was
about
hard.
but then the second one came out, and I'm like, oh, hype. I'm like, oh, I'll try it out. Played it for like half an hour. I'm like, oh, this is dumb. Then I go back like a year. I'm not even joking. Like a year or two later, I start. I'm like, I'm gonna give this game a chance. Started playing it. Flipping fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Like, I thought it was amazing. And I happened to play it so late and get on board that, like, lo and behold, 4 months later, Mass Effect 3 is coming out. So when the mistakes I made in the second one, I went into 3, and like I said, I told you today, I'm like, I beat that sucker 100%. Like,
Yeah.
I did everything. I searched every planet. I found
Which is
everything.
a big deal because Curtis doesn't like doing anything
No.
that isn't like
Very
additional
linear,
things. in a video game.
straightforward.
So that's
no
it.
side
Storyline.
quest.
That's how you know it's a good game. So am I excited for another Mass Effect game? I'm like, yes, very much so. I'm actually excited to go exploring in this universe again. Be like, go to the planet and like had to travel this planet, forward the story, go back again to get this last little bit. I'm like,
Right?
I'm actually excited to do that because I'm hoping they write these new characters as well as they wrote the old squad.
Yeah.
You know it will. Like, it's not going to disappoint.
Well, I
you
hope so
know?
because man, that storyline was so cool.
Well, and just like I enjoyed in the third, like you're recruiting people to get on your team to go
Yeah.
through this like relay that's been shut down for centuries and go fight the Prometheans and just everything about those games and the story and the universe that they built through those 3
Yeah.
games. But I was the same way. I started at 2. Went back and played 1. It was just like, man, these game mechanics are garbage.
Yeah.
And like I remember driving around to the Mako for like 4 hours trying to figure out where to go because there was no like destination settings yet because it was such an early game. And then 3 came out and I remember just like watching the first cinematic and sweating in my living room because I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so good. And then this one comes out and it looks really action packed. There's that one scene where there's like a huge tentacles monster coming
Oh, yeah.
out of the ground.
I'm just hoping like the thing
Man.
with
Man.
Mass Effect is the first one like small game cult following. Second one took that cult following, built on an audience of people like me who are like, wow, these people worked their butt off and they made a dynamite product. And it showed in they gave them a third game and they showed it. They're like, we're gonna go pull out all the stops. Now I'm hoping that they don't like have like a curse of like we're awesome. And they get a little lazy, like put that blood, sweat, and tears back into this
Yeah.
game as well.
Well, they've been making it for years and they've been pushing it back for months and everything. And spring 2017 is when they start shipping copies. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. The trailer looked great. The gameplay looks nice and fluid. And they didn't give away. I don't know who the enemies are. I
No,
don't know where
I don't
I'm
know who
going.
any of them are.
I just know I'm a Pathfinder and Shepard exists in this
Just give me a
area
gun.
at some point. Yep.
Just give me a gun.
Let
I'll
me
show
make
'em
those
what it is.
incendiary bullets and like I want to be able to use my Omni tool to just kill mofos while I'm running around. I'm excited, Josh. You need to play these games.
I
and-
have a feeling. I know I would love them.
Yeah.
Like
It's
obviously.
space. Like it's
yeah.
it's
Well, not only that, it's just the thing with Kurt is that it's very hard
How
to
am I
get him
gonna
to
play anything? Look who's
So,
talking,
when
Mister.
Kurt-
50 days on Final
when
Fantasy, and that's the only thing
Stay
I
on
play.
target!
Stay on target! When Kurt plays a game and then he's like, oh yeah, like I know it, like RPG, like I know the type of gameplay. I've watched people play it. I know I would love it, but yeah.
Well, yeah, and you
it's-
mine planets for resources
Yeah.
and you construct custom armor.
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
right up your alley.
Oh, yeah.
I
for
did it.
sure. Yeah.
If he did it, you have no
I
idea.
did it.
That's
I
what
made
blows
my
me out
I
of the
made
water.
my
Like,
own
if
armor.
Kurt did it, like
Yeah.
I could do it 1,000 times better.
So I guess that's our show
Yeah.
for today. Let us know. There was
My
a lot we
mouth is
talked
dry.
about, right? We have some water or beer after this. Let us know what you think on the topics. If we missed anything, if there's anything you agreed with or disagreed with, especially if you disagreed with it, I'm sure you'll let us know in the comments. And as you per usual, hey. All right then.
Were you looking for me to say something?
usual.
Like, wait,
I was
do we
waiting
have a
for one
catchphrase?
point.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
We really need to figure out a way to end these frickin' podcasts.
Well, we should probably mention they can find us.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were leading.
That's what I
into.
thought. I was
Yeah,
like,
oh,
am I supposed to
okay.
say it?
I forgot we're on social media. Hey, Curtis, tell the people where they can find us on social media.
Whatever you say, Darren. You can find us, me and Josh, on @RealReviews00. That's me.
You can
and
also
Josh.
find the Gentleman Show @Gent Show and find me @On Air Darren and VO on the Facebooks and on the Twitters.
You
and on the
can talk to
YouTubes.
us for all your nerdy needs.
That's right.
That's how you end a show.
Yeah.